Wow, guys. Mr. Krabs is so greedy and so selfish and so tight-fisted. He wanted the penny that SpongeBob had found. But in the end, oh my god. Cue the intro, if you please. Hi guys, it's me, Disney, Tom and Jerry, The Simpsons, Dookie, and the Magic School Bus fan 1996 here. Before I do a review slash rant on Ink Lemonade, this is my review slash rant on Penny Foolish. And before we get started, I have something to say about yesterday. For the CGI of Zoom of Spencer Breslin, I actually meant to say bobblehead. You know, the bobblehead that those bobblehead things that wiggles and all that stuff. That kinda look like that, but in the most disturbing way. Spencer Breslin's CGI look of the head, well, really looks like a bobblehead. That's what I meant to say. I'm sorry about the mistake about last night. So, I hope you understand. So, yeah. And without further ado, before my Ink Lemonade rant, here's my review slash rant on Penny Foolish. So basically, what the plot's about is Mr. Krabs is finishing up checking out his multiple items, and then when he gets out of the store, he sees SpongeBob picking up something, and Mr. Krabs then realizes that it was actually a penny that he found off the ground. And Mr. Krabs was like, oh my god, SpongeBob had picked a bright shiny penny just sitting there, and he just picked it up. Holy mother of God, I need to grab it out of his hand. Of course he can, because you know him. Mr. Krabs is extremely greedy. When he goes back home of how SpongeBob had got a penny, other people had to work for one, he decides to calm himself down. But eventually, if he sees anything circular, he just keeps having visions of pennies and becomes obsessed, and eventually makes matters worse. And then the next day at work, he asks SpongeBob if he found anything special and if he can share with him. But SpongeBob said that he just found a brand new day. And Mr. Krabs goes into the kitchen and he asks if he can borrow the penny. But SpongeBob said, sorry, Mr. Krabs, I don't have one. But then instead of dealing with it, Mr. Krabs just continues wanting the penny that SpongeBob had. And Mr. Krabs shakes SpongeBob and his brain fell off, and they they go after his brain, and SpongeBob gets the brain, and SpongeBob talks to the brain. Okay, that's very creepy, even for a kids' film. Talking to your brain, that's very creepy. And then SpongeBob and Squidward's like, what the hell's going on? And then it realized Mr. Krabs had built a movie theater behind the Krusty Krab, and it opens up, and he makes admission worth a penny, so he'll get SpongeBob's penny. Okay, that's very stupid. Why can't he just deal with the fact that SpongeBob doesn't even have a penny? Why couldn't he just let it go already? Of course, Mr. Krabs is so obsessed with money, he cannot stay away from it. Just like SpongeBob cannot stay away from the Krusty Krab. It's like if Mr. Krabs doesn't have money, he dies. Which is stupid and pathetic. I mean, sure, most people make money when you're working and all that stuff, but that doesn't mean you have to be completely obsessed with money. No, that's wrong. And then Mr. Krabs like, I'm gonna show you this flip book. But then people were not interested, and they left, and SpongeBob was like, can I go see the movie? But Mr. Krabs like, first you gotta donate me a penny. And SpongeBob's like, I don't have a penny. And Mr. Krabs freaks out and he wrecks the theater. Wow. Then SpongeBob comes in and see that Squidward's fancy for the Krusty Krab semi-annual charity night. A show put on by Mr. Krabs, and he goes to his table and Mr. Krabs had starts the show. Pennies for the penniless. And shows how he doesn't have a penny and he desperately needs one. Mr. Krabs says that SpongeBob can end this travesty by donating just 1 penny to him. But SpongeBob still doesn't have one, as Mr. Krabs starts going into this breakdown. And later that night, Mr. Krabs spies on SpongeBob and he leaves his house. He breaks into SpongeBob's house with a metal detector to find a penny. And he looks in Gary's, he looks under Gary's shelf with a penny. And when SpongeBob comes back, he's like, what the hell is going on, Mr. Krabs? And Mr. Krabs was like, it's not what it looks like, SpongeBob. But then he confesses, I just wanted a penny that you found. But SpongeBob's like, it wasn't a penny. It was a dried piece of gum for his gum collection. Mr. Krabs then was surprised that there wasn't a penny after all. Though he is seemingly relieved, and then he leaves. And then SpongeBob soon discovers that it was just a $500 bill, which he leaves on the floor and heads to bed. And Mr. Krabs is revealed to not believe that the penny was fake, and is digging for the penny all around SpongeBob's house. And that's basically what the plot is. This is honestly a horrible episode. Before we jump into the negatives, is there anything positive? I don't think so, no. So let's jump into the negative. Mr. Krabs was very unlikable throughout the entire episode. Mr. Krabs begs and pleads and does anything with SpongeBob to give him the penny. But SpongeBob's like, sorry, I don't have one. Yeah. SpongeBob says to Mr. Krabs that he doesn't have one, but Mr. Krabs just doesn't let it go. He just keeps asking for it multiple times. Like a play that he made, a movie theater that he built, even a metal detector. And neither of them worked. Wow. Mr. Krabs, you have so much money already. Why can't you just deal with the fact that SpongeBob doesn't have a penny? And the way that SpongeBob talks to his brain, that's just plain creepy. It's not even funny at all. And the brain was SpongeBob's brain that was like a spider, almost. It crawled like a spider, which was creepy as well. And Mr. Krabs was hallucinating that night, trying to make him calm didn't work. It just made him worse, because all he did was brag and think about the penny that SpongeBob had picked up. And yeah, you get the point. He asked for SpongeBob for the penny. All that for a penny. Mr. Krabs is the main antagonist. He is the actual villain. He is so selfish and greedy, and he loves to see Plankton's torment and suffering and sorrow. This sums it up of how unlikable and how unforgivable Mr. Krabs is. He demolishes the theater, and he goes into this breakdown after SpongeBob confesses he still doesn't have a penny. Yeah, he just doesn't let it go. Instead he just throws a breakdown, all because of SpongeBob not having a penny. Oh my god. And the ending was very stupid. Mr. Krabs didn't believe that the penny was fake, and he digs all over SpongeBob's house with a stupid penny. Come on, Mr. Krabs, let it go already. And deal with the fact that the penny was fake. Bottom line, this was a very terrible episode. And the way that Mr. Krabs looked into Gary's shell was nasty and gross. And yet, like I said, this episode was terrible. So for my final rating for Penny Foolish, I'm gonna give this episode a 1 out of 7. Horrendous episode. And that was my review / rant on Penny Foolish. Thanks for watching this episode. This is me signing off, and I'll see you guys next time.